Hey everyone, welcome back to another recipe episode of In the Kitchen with Sandy, and today I am making a nice warm hearty pot of chicken noodle soup, homemade chicken noodle soup. I love homemade chicken noodle soup. I love homemade any type of soup. You guys already know that. But I have been feeling a little under the weather lately, so I have been really craving this, but I've been too sick to make it. But today I am going to make it. I am so ready for it. This is a fabulous recipe. It just requires just a few ingredients, but they all come together and make it absolutely amazing. All right, I'm going to show you what I got going on here, what we're going to be using today. I've got 4 chicken thighs over here. You can use any type of chicken you want to use, but I love to use like the chicken thighs all the time, not just because they're cheaper, but I love the texture of the dark meat in like soups and stews and stuff like that. And look at that, $2.97 for 4 nice thighs here. I bought the ones with the bone in them, the bone-in chicken and the skin on them, because you want to make sure that you're using those when you're making any type of soup that has to do with chicken, because the bone and the skin is going to render a lot of flavor. Got it? A lot of flavor. We're also going to be using some I've got some carrots, some onions, some celery, and some garlic over here in my fine china. I've got in here some, what is this, poultry seasoning, just a little bit. You don't really want to overpower the soup. You kind of want to keep it basic of just that nice chickeny broth flavor. And I'm going to use some chicken stock, some garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of celery salt, just because you know, celery doesn't really render a lot of flavor. It's more of a texture to the soup. You know how I am. I'm just like extra with that. And I'm using the end-made noodles. These are so good when you're making soup or anything. If you want to make chicken noodles, whatever, they come in a wider size as well. And these are so easy to make. And you can either boil these while you're cooking your chicken, or you just put them right in there. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and get started. In my pot here, we're also going to use a bay leaf, which is going to add an exceptional flavor to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our pan on about medium, slightly over medium, and we are going to use, I like to use the butter and the olive oil to kind of saute my veggies, because you know, the butter is just going to add an extra goodness to the chicken as well. This is absolutely delicious. And you know what? I don't know where you're at, what neck of the woods you're in, but it is like cold here. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons there. And this is going to go perfect with the cold weather. Y'all know I'm all about soup anyway. I've got several soup videos already uploaded here. You know I love soup. I'm all about soup. So we're going to let that do its thing, and then we're going to add just a couple tablespoons of olive oil. And then when that heats up, we are going to throw our veggies in there. Alright, my butter and my oil is talking to me, so it's just about ready. It's just about melted all the way. So we're going to go ahead and throw in all of our veggies. Go ahead and add a little bit of salt in there. As soon as I find it. We're going to add a little bit of salt in there so it can, you know, flavor it, and plus it's going to render some of that, the water out of those vegetables. And give it a nice stir, and then, like I said, just go ahead and we're going to saute these for about 3 or 4 minutes, just so they start getting a little bit of color to them, and you know, start becoming nice and soft. Alright, these are looking absolutely fabulous. I don't know if you can see in there. I'm trying to get this angle to where you can see in there a little bit better. You're going to go ahead and add in a little bit of celery salt. And I've turned my heat down for just a little bit here. Some onion powder. It already smells amazing in here. And then you're going to use a little bit of garlic powder. Give that a stir. Actually, if you wanted to, you could just put that in at the beginning if you'd like. I mean, there's no really rhyme or reason. I'll just do it when I remember to. And then a little bit of fresh pepper would be fabulous at this point. Look at that. Look how beautiful those vegetables are. Now at this point, you can go ahead and add a nice big tablespoon of flour, because this is going to help thicken your, you know, your broth up just a little bit. Because you don't want it like super thin, but you don't really want it super thick. So, but you just want to stir that around until you get that, the flour taste cooked out of the flour. Now we're going to go ahead and add our chicken. And if you don't have the thighs, if you want to use chicken breasts, chicken legs, you know, wings, anything you want to use is fine. I just prefer the chicken thighs there. And then we're going to add about 2 cups of water in here, maybe 3. I'll see where it comes up to. You want to make sure that your chicken is nice and covered. And then we're going to also add our chicken stock. And again, the skin and the bones on the chicken is going to add, you know, a really good flavor. And then you're going to toss in your 2 bouillon cubes and your poultry seasoning. We're also going to throw 1 big bay leaf in there. Now that's a big bay leaf. And I've also got some fresh thyme that I'm going to add just a couple sprigs of that. You don't need a whole lot because it is really potent. So we're just going to throw that right in there. And we're going to fish that out before we put our noodles in for both those, the bay leaf and the thyme. We're going to give that a stir. We're going to bring it up to a boil, and then we're going to place the lid on it and turn it back down to simmer and let it simmer until the chicken is cooked absolutely perfectly through, which should take probably about 35-45 minutes, if that. And then I'll show you the recipe, the rest of the recipe when we get there. Alright, I removed my chicken out. Look how nice and hearty that juice is. It is absolutely amazing. And I took all the chicken off the bone, and I'm going to go ahead and add that back in there. This cooked for about 45 minutes. I just want to make sure that it was totally done all the way through. Now I'm going to bring this back up to a boil, and then we are going to add our noodles. Alright, I added my noodles in there. I added about a little bit over half of the bag, and like I said, the difference between chicken and noodles and chicken noodle soup is how many noodles you put in there. So you want to make sure that you don't put the whole bag in there, or it becomes just chicken and noodles, which is perfectly fine. But I'm going for the soup at this point. Now I've already got those in there, and what I'm going to do is, it's still boiling, so I'm going to turn it off. These are the noodles that you can put in there, put a lid on it, turn it off, and let them steep themselves. Look at that, what I got going on over there. I am making club sandwiches with my chicken and noodles soup today. Alright, I want you to look at my chicken noodle soup. It is getting dark outside, so I have to hurry up and finish this video. Look at that, how absolutely amazing it is, how it looks. Still waiting on my ladle from one of my fans. Look at that, that is phenomenal. I did put a little bit of parsley in it for a little extra color, because you know what they say, you eat with your eyes. I don't know about you, but I eat with a spoon. Look how beautiful that is, and you can serve this up just like this. You could have sandwiches like we're gonna have with it. That is absolutely phenomenal. Look how, and I cannot even tell you how easy this chicken noodle soup is to make. It is so phenomenal, and like I said, you could just make just chicken and noodles. if you just added more noodles instead of, you know, less noodles. More noodles equals chicken and noodles. Less noodles equals chicken noodle soup. But you got the base for both, so you're welcome. These are absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to taste a bite of them. And again, you can use any type of noodle you want, but when I'm doing soup, this is what I like with my chicken noodle soup. Hot. Man, that is so good, so good, so good. Oh my gosh. Definitely one of my favorite comfort foods, chicken noodle soup. I certainly hope you like this recipe. I know you're gonna like this recipe because I love this recipe. You know I appreciate you guys watching so very much. I love you all. I couldn't wait to say this. Happy holidays! It is going into the holiday season, and I will be doing a lot of cooking for that. In the meantime, make this. You know I love you, and I'll see you on the next video.